Imagine being a diabetic and having the benefit of an insulin pump that delivers insulin to the body in a way that emulates a functional pancreas, a small battery-operated electronic device that replaces the need for frequent insulin injections. Then, imagine in the course of say 4 months of advantageous use, regulated blood glucose levels, and reduced risks of hypoglycemia, that very device gets hacked. Such a worrying prospect is not far-fetched. Indeed, as recent as 2016, patients were warned of a vulnerability that could permit hackers to take control of the insulin pump and deliver a lethal insulin dose with a remote control. Just 2 years prior, in 2014, more than 300 of these devices were identified as being at risk. What must be underlined, therefore, is that while the advancement of technology has seen clinical outcomes improved and the quality of healthcare enhanced, in the modern age of digital technology, cyber attacks on medical devices such as insulin pumps have become a growing concern. In this presentation, we explore the mechanism, effects, safeguards underlying the cybersecurity issues for insulin pumps, and highlight the need to not only revise critical infrastructure, but protect the integrity of related security systems for the sake of patient safety. First, a brief introduction on insulin pumps. Known as an electronic reservoir of insulin, these devices are programmed to render insulin doses to meet the body's needs. The infusion set, comprising of tubing connected to a flexible cannula, is inserted in the site where the patient's insulin injection would otherwise take place. The pump sits externally and houses a plastic cartridge that holds up to 300 units of insulin. Now, cybercrime within the medical field is not new. Due to the complexity of technological advancement, the ways in which cyber threats are infiltrating medical devices are becoming very intricate. So how then are insulin pumps exploited? The device does not encrypt, scramble, or bar hackers from accessing it. The hackers hereby manipulate the communication patterns between the device and its remote control to command it to execute some unauthorized tasks. Bypassing the security setup of these insulin pumps does not require much sophistication, and this is one of the causes of the insecurity, since the culprits do not require many resources to succeed in their malicious attacks. An improper protocol is another cause of the breaches. Following this defect, patients often inadvertently expose their details to phishers who are eyeing to manipulate them. Now to the effects. Security risks from intentional threats have only recently been confirmed, as medical devices increasingly use newer technologies such as wireless communication and internet access. Given implantable medical devices are increasingly designed to interface with consumer electronic devices, such as smartphones and tablets, malware can target the device and thereby gain access to program applications that control the device itself. The latter is particularly deadly if the hacker intends to cause them harm, for example, via insulin overdose. Risks to health from unauthorized access is in addition to hazards from faulty software or circuitry. Successful attacks, when reported in the media, could also unfairly tarnish the reputation of life-saving medical implants. Reported cyber attacks include the Medtronic Paradigm insulin pumps. The vulnerability in these units is that the systems don't encrypt the commands that patients send their pumps, nor do they authenticate the source of the commands. Unauthorized parties in the vicinity of a pump could intercept the legitimate commands and replace them with malicious commands that could potentially deliver a fatal insulin dose to a patient. The other models are the J&J insulin pumps. They work in the same way as the Medtronic devices. When J&J learned of a potential cybersecurity vulnerability, they shocked the industry by issuing a recall themselves, demonstrating a clear commitment to the industrial practices. The insulin pumps had the potential to be hacked to deliver a fatal dosage of insulin, although it is unknown if this could have been exploited, as the pumps were promptly recalled. Now, in light of these risks, important safeguards have been implemented. The regulations surrounding the cybersecurity of medical devices, including insulin pumps, is performed by the Therapeutic Goods Administration in Australia and the Food and Drug Administration in America. Both regulatory bodies require manufacturers to perform ongoing pre- and post-market risk assessment and management throughout the life cycle of the device. These precautions are taken to ensure that the devices they produce do not compromise the health and safety of the patient, user, or any other person in contact with the device. Some of the pre-market considerations include cybersecurity penetration testing, operating platform security, and the precautions in the uploading or downloading of data. After the devices hit the market, the manufacturers must have a compliant risk management strategy that demonstrates how the pump's cybersecurity risk is reviewed and updated. To reduce the risk of cybersecurity issues, current-day insulin pumps have the option of setting a maximum dose of a safe amount to ensure that hackers are unable to deliver potentially fatal doses of insulin. Moreover, newer generation of pumps do not have wireless connection vulnerability to avoid hackers being able to remotely change the dose of insulin administered. Devices now also have a sensitive data they store encrypted, which can only be decrypted with a password to ensure that there is no threat to the data being accessed by unauthorized parties. Patients are also advised to take special measures to safeguard the device from hackers, like keeping their pump in their control, not sharing the device's serial number, not connecting to third-party devices or unsecured networks, not installing or using unauthorized software, and keeping the software up to date as well as their password secure. To conclude, cybersecurity is a serious safety issue that warrants a greater commitment to more coherent security standards and risk management. If left unaddressed, the impact on the health and safety of patients is far-reaching. Given our digital age, considering cybercrime in relation to medical devices such as insulin pumps is and will continue to be a health and safety priority.